So here we are at the Nomads tent in Edinburgh, and it's opening day of our wonderful textile art exhibition called Nomadic Inspirations. And I'd like to introduce you to Andrew Horton, who is owner of the shop here, and he's going to give you just a little bit of background to how this exhibition came about.
Thank you, Pat. Well, we had a visit from Pat and her many students in September last year, and it was a visit to really start the ball rolling with an exhibition of textiles based on artefacts in our shop here. It was an idea, I must say, I had discussed with Rufus many years ago, Rufus Reed, and we had other ideas, and then nothing happened, and then this came about, and the students picked out an object and went away, and 8 months later what they've come back with is absolutely sensational. And this is really a very special occasion to look at artefacts that we've bought from different parts of the world and that have been re-expressed or reframed in these wonderful textile pieces by Pat's students. So thank you, Pat.
Oh, well, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you, Andrew, over the last few months. And as for the students, it's been a fantastic, serendipitous, creative journey, starting and finishing their creativity here at the Nomads tent. But hopefully it won't be the finish of their creativity. Hopefully they will be spurred on and inspired to go on and express their ideas in other art textiles. So do come and visit the Nomads tent throughout the month of August, and you'll have the delight of looking at 50 pieces of textile art that are on display here. So let me lead you through into our wonderful gallery area. So past a gorgeous collection of rugs, richly coloured and patterned here, through a beautiful carved doorway, and into our gallery space. So a lovely light gallery filled with wonderful textile art, and I'm just going to give you a quick walk around the gallery space so you can get an impression of all the pieces of work that are showcased here. Each one of them inspired by an artefact that the students have found within the Nomads tent shop. It's a feast of colour, and there are a multiplicity of inspirational sources, and each piece is uniquely expressed by the artist using their skills and their meaning structure. Each piece evoking a story and a memory, perhaps, of travels that the people have had themselves, or perhaps relating to local history as well. This intricately carved jali screen, which would have been an aid to cooling houses in India, and also to provide a screen to separate the women from the goings-on outside their houses. But this has provided inspiration for a piece of work. Maureen Thompson was the lady inspired by the jali screen, and she's considered it as perhaps a reflection on modern day lockdown. Is this woman looking on the outside world from the safety of her home? A woven bag has provided inspiration for the work of Alison White, called Disorder. This chest, with elements of carved architecture in the front of it, has provided inspiration for the work of Frances MacArthur. Her pieces hang above the carved chest and complement it beautifully. Prue Cooper's piece, called My Granny's Cradle Chain, was inspired by a family heirloom. So here you can see the cradle chain hanging in front of the textile piece, and elements of the cradle chain have been recreated in fabric and stitch form. This stitched bazoo band has provided inspiration for a piece by Trisha Denham. So here you can see her piece inspired by the bazoo band called Repetition, Reflection and Distortion. Looking at Barbara Dillett's piece, where her inspiration was taken from the Turan that you can see here, and she's taken elements of that and stitched that into her lovely piece here. She's used a technique called tambour stitching to create this piece. And if you would like to try your hand at this, Barbara has left a tambour frame and she's left the special needles that you require for this very intricate form of stitching and a selection of threads and instructions as well. Debbie Carter's quilt that you can see here has been inspired by this beautifully stitched piece that she's incorporated into the top of the quilt. And further down the quilt, you can see that she has block printed all the fabric. Beautifully balanced design here. Gina Watson's delightful piece From India to Scotland with the national bird of India, but down in its tail feathers we have the flag of Scotland, but in the background we have lovely elements of block printing as well. Carol Douglas's richly coloured piece, Two Elephants, also features block printing down in the border area here. And after printing, she's gone to town and heavily embellished it with hand stitching. So having been inspired by the block printing and some of the quilts that you've seen in the exhibition, you might want to come and try your hand and take away a little piece of printed fabric as a souvenir of the exhibition, ready to stitch yourself. So that's just a few of the pieces that you'll be able to see in this exhibition. We have over 50 textile pieces on display, and as you wander around you'll be able to read the artist's statements and you'll be able to make the connection between the artefact that has inspired the piece and their finished piece of work.